Welcome to Marketing State of Mind, the podcast where clarity meets visibility. I'm Lynn Colbot, strategist and systems whisperer, here to unpack the mindset behind your marketing moves. Whether you're launching, scaling, or starting over, let's find the choices that actually feel like you. Let's dive into a topic that most marketers handle with oven mitts. Automation, not the cold metallic kind that makes you feel like you're being herded through a cattle chute. No, I want to talk about the kind that feels like a handwritten note just slipped under the door. The kind where empathy and algorithms sit down at the same table and share a drink. So this is the episode where your automation stop sounding like a robot and become more human, or maybe the human who actually gives a damn. So let's start with a truth that if I could, I would have carved into the stone tablets of marketing. Automation is not the enemy. Indifference is. Because your audience doesn't recoil from funnels, sequences, or chatbots. They recoil from feeling unseen. And the job isn't to remove the automation. It's to leave a handprint on it, something unmistakably human or something unmistakably intentional. So an automation without that empathy, well, it's just a conveyor belt. But an automation with that empathy, it's a concierge service in disguise. So there's a myth floating around the industry like a ghost that no one invited. If it's automated, it can't feel personal, and that's absolute nonsense. Humans are creatures of pattern, yes, but we're also creatures of meaning. So you can automate timing, you can automate structure, you can automate delivery, but the one thing you cannot automate is care. And that part, well, that's the part that still comes from you. And your job is to encode care into the system. So let's break it down into 3 pillars. Simple enough to build in an afternoon, yet powerful enough to change your customer experience forever. So number 1, voice before velocity. So before you automate a single thing, ask yourself, how would I say this if I were only sending it to one person? Write that. And then automate that. If your automation sounds like you swallowed a corporate handbook, start over. Number 2 is relevance over ritual. People don't want more touch points. They want meaningful ones. So every automated message should answer one silent question your audience is always asking. Why are you telling me this now? So if you don't have an answer, the automation isn't ready. And number 3, timing that feels like understanding. Empathy in automation is often just good timing, pretending to be mind reading. So check-ins when someone might be stuck, reminders before frustration, celebrations when the momentum peaks. Great automation feels less like a machine nudging you and more like someone paying attention. So let me tell you when this moment clicked for me. A client once told me their email list was dead. Translation, they blasted their audience with automated content that sounded like it was written under duress. And we rebuilt the system, same structure, same timing, but with one change. We wrote every message as if we were talking to one real person with a real life and a real beating heart. And guess what? The list gradually woke up. People replied. Then they started engaging, and then they started to feel seen. It's because the automation wasn't the issue. The absence of humanity was. So here is the cheat sheet, the 3 things you can implement today to make your automations more human. Write the automations last. So do the strategy first and the empathy first, then write. Use sensory details. Mention sights, sounds, emotions, moments. Humans think in images. Machines don't. Well, until you teach them. Insert a soft pause, a moment where the message shifts from information to intention. Something like, here's the part I really need you to understand, or if there's only one takeaway from this whole message, it needs to be this. And that's where a little bit of you slips through. So automation isn't replacing the human touch. If you let it, it's amplifying it. And when empathy leads and automation follows, your business stops sounding like a factory and starts sounding like a friend sitting across the table. So here's my challenge to you this week. Find one automation in your system and rewrite it like you're writing to your favorite person. So not your audience, not the list you have curated, just one person. Then sit back and watch how everything changes. Thank you for tuning in to Marketing State of Mind. If this sparks something, hit subscribe and share it with someone navigating visibility too. Want to work together or see how I help vision-driven brands get clear and seen? Head to cyberpr.com or connect with me on LinkedIn, Lynn Kolpa. Until next time, sit in the clarity and remember, visibility isn't about shouting. It's about saying the right thing in the right state of mind.